Hi, Emerald. Thank you so much for your time and your participations. And could you please briefly introduce about yourself?
My name is Emra Mok, and I studied philosophy back in my country. And then at the time, I was focusing on feminism and existentialism in my thesis. And then in 2023, I received Chevening scholarship. So I began to study my dream subject, creative writing. So I had master's in creative writing, and I will be graduating next month.
Congratulations. You are a philosophy graduate and master in creative writing. Do you think philosophy influences in creating narrative structure?
Well, yeah, because stories are a powerful and compelling way to transfer knowledge and information in a memorable way. So, in crafting the story, there are elements like character, conflict, plot, setting, and then theme. So, I think we can see, philosophical concepts in the theme. But then I also think that philosophy seeps into narrative structure, the way dreams slip into waking life. You don't always notice it at first, but then it is there, quietly shaping the rhythm of the story or the silences of, action, and then the strange logic of cause and effect. So in plotting a story, we can always see cause and effect. So those events, like we are writing events after events, and then it's in the sequence, we put one event after another, and then we create a plot. So in doing so, we want to create a story that is compelling and that is relatable. So I think logic plays an important role. And then in that way, philosophy influence in creating narrative structure. So whether you are creating, 3 act structure or 5 act structure, like dramatic writing or novel, whatever you are writing, when you plot the stories and writing the events after events, I think logic plays the important role in narrative structure. Yeah.
So you mean that writing is more than just a way of storytelling. It's about to explore philosophical ideas like questions about life, truth, moralities, and so on. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's not the main purpose, we don't really want to, writers don't really want to show you the purpose of like, this is the message of the story. It's not like that. It's more like it's subtle, and then you just don't normally see it just like that. So, um, I think that's it. It's like writing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, writing can be a form of philosophical exploration, um, because like writing doesn't always have philosophy in it, but it begins with not with answer, but with questions, just like philosophy, like what if,
Yeah.
or like who is speaking, what is true, and then who decides what. So through the narratives, you can test the limits of power, morality, like you said, identity, and the very nature of reality, even. So, but then they don't really show you, like, with a sign of the sources. So philosophy is not like very obvious, but then stories let you word those questions by yourself, like for the audience. So I think philosophy is like exploring philosophy of, this is, you can see in writing itself. It's not like they are separate. Just like in real life, like we always think about so many things, but then we don't really know it. So it is the same way in writing as well. Yeah.
So you study philosophy and creative writing. So are there any philosophical ideas or philosopher that influence your writing?
Yes. Because during my study in at the University of Exeter, I took a lot of modules. Usually people take, if you are interested in poetry, they usually take something that is similar to that. But for me, I wanted a, wide range of writing. I want to explore because creative writing is not available in my country as a master degree. So I am really interested, and I took poetry and screenwriting and novel writing, and I also wrote like short stories. So my dissertation itself is a few chapters of my novel. So in that, I noticed that, although I'm writing different kinds of writing, there is a similarity, which is the theme of philosophy, that is existentialism. So I was influenced when I was, studying philosophy back in my country, by a lot of philosophers like Camus and Nietzsche. So I love Camus' The Stranger and Kafka's The Metamorphoses. And also we learned like Samuel Beckett. He wrote a play which is like a classic existentialist drama. So in that drama, they like characters are waiting for a meaning or purpose that never arrives. So I am obsessed with that kind of things and concept. And the main influence is Tia. She is a Burmese poet and existentialist author. So her female characters, they are fighting for, their rights in the patriarchal world. It doesn't seem like it, but they are like trying to struggle in that world. And the characters feels alienated. So I love that kind of thing. And then Haruki Murakami, hugely, last but not least. So he really influenced my writing in a way of fantastical elements and surrealism. So I love that kind of, reality and fantasy, the blurriness of it. So I love to write about like dreams and like real life. More like real life is like more, scarier than the horror dreams or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, I write that kind of stories, and I think these people, like these writers, influence me a lot.
So you learn more about existentialism.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you think of about language? Language limit your writing?
It's I don't agree with that because, maybe like a century ago or like so many centuries ago, probably like language limits your imagination or your like creation. But then nowadays, um we have like translation. We Although I'm a Burmese, I was influenced by, French philosophy or
Mm,
Japanese philosophy, but I don't know French. I don't know Japanese. I cannot read them, but then in a way I understand their imagination and their creation. Maybe not all, not fully, but we can grasp the idea and what is the writer's imagination from the translated works. So it's not like knowledge is also limited these days, like we have so many translated works and language is no longer a barrier. Because, for example, like my favorite writer, Haruki Murakami, so his writing is interesting because he writes in English first. He's a Japanese, and he writes in English, and then he translated himself, into like Japanese again, and then only after that he edits and then publish it. So I heard that his purpose is to make his writing simple and understandable and to grasp the concept as simple as possible. So I think language does not limit our imagination. Like it's just fine. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so last but not least, what kind of advice do you want to give to the one who want to bring philosophical ideas to their work?
For those who want to like put philosophical concepts into their writing or whatever creation they are doing, my advice is, don't start with the philosophy or the concept. Just start with the story, because if you want to bring philosophical ideas or concept into your work, just let them grow out of character or the plot, or maybe in the conflict and the desire of the character. So readers don't come for a lecture, they come for lives that they can also feel, and they can feel real, and they can experience the choices and the questions after page. So I mean let your characters wrestle with the ideas. Like just don't recite those philosophical concepts. Because in for writers there's a teaching that is very well known, which is show but not tell. So yeah, for creators, like we are supposed to show what is happening and how it is happening. We are not supposed to tell, the block of philosophies, like the passage of sayings into the movie. So yeah, so I think it's if you just follow the story, what you want to tell and what information you want to convey, it would be fine. And philosophy is also like really rich in fiction when it is lived through the writers and through the readers, not like explained. So I think I answered the question. Yeah.
Okay. And one extra questions for you. So I have read a lot of writings about your writings, and it's really good, especially about thriller parts. And I love this. So when you do your writing, do you think like first story background or maybe creator fast?
Well, that's a good question because in writing, I mean, for writers, there are two types of writers, like plotters and pantser. So, like for plotters, as you can see, like as the name, they plot first. They have a very strict, routines of characters, and then they have their own plots written on the somewhere, the wall or in the book. They have a certain idea what chapter is going to be, but then for Pensa, like me, I don't. I have a general sense of what is happening, but I don't limit myself into frames of how the characters are supposed to be. I just let the characters speak for themselves, and actually, I think a lot of writers are becoming Pensa, although they plot because only when we write the stories, develop in the way that we sometimes did not expect. So I think we are more of a pantser. We just let the story written by itself. And that's also a natural way of letting your ideas and philosophy sink into the story, I guess, rather than forcing it. Yeah.
And thank you so much for your time and participations and sharing your thoughts. In anything you want to say for the last?
I just want to say thank you to you, Emily, and then like making this happen. I am so happy to share my ideas and my interest, about creative writing and also philosophy. I am just happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day and congratulations again for your graduations.
Thank you so much and have a nice day.